Daredevil is back with a great new trailer. Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow has started filming. TikTok is probably getting banned today. Find out how it affects us. Greta Gerwig's Narnia movies will get released in 1,000 IMAX theaters. And a Hollywood legend passed away. Let's get into this week's movie news.
What is up, movie friends? Welcome back to Raiders of the Lost Podcast, the ultimate film and TV podcast, and another week of movie news where we bring you all of the industry news. We scoured the internet, we watched the trailers, we read all of the articles, so you don't have to. All you gotta do is sit back, relax, and listen to us give you all of the information for this past week happening in the film and TV world. Now let's take it away with the box office, which was kind of a downward trend from the last month or so.
It's January.
Mufasa came out on top yet again. It's holding really strong. It's got really strong lion legs. Running through the Sahara. It's $16 million weekend, and I think this is its sixth weekend, so it's still at number one. It hasn't really slowed down. It's been about that much money every weekend for the past 3 weeks, I think. And then the new release this week was Wolfman from Blumhouse and Universal, which had a modest release of $13 million for its opening weekend. It was tracking for around $20 million 2 weeks ago when we were looking at it and keeping an eye on it. So it debuted a little low, but it's still a good earnings. It's not a high budget film. It's pretty small.
I believe it's under $10 million budget.
Yeah, so it's going to make good money for them and good profit for them.
I think that the probably word of mouth and Rotten Tomatoes embargo lift affected this because it became rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. For critics, it's in like the 50s.
Oh, wow.
Audiences are saying it's around the 60s. Reviews are very mixed. Mm-hmm. Some people loved it. I had a really great time. I thought it was a really cool, fun idea. Some people, they want the big, monstrous wolf with big fangs and big claws and covered in hair, whereas this movie isn't taking it in that direction, which I liked because we've got so many same renditions of monsters. I like what Lee Whannell does with his monster movies. Mm-hmm. Does something new, grounded in reality, mix it up, stir the pot. Let's get a fresh look, because in 10 years, I'm sure we'll get another Wolfman movie.
Yeah.
That will, fulfill
the Wolfman went after James.
what people want, but I think it's a really good movie.
I had a good time with it. I had a feeling, though, I predicted that audiences would be mixed on it because of what the movie is, what the narrative is, and I had a feeling that people would be torn of either really liking it or not liking it at all, and it's about that with audiences with a 2.7 on Letterboxd for its rating, so audiences are pretty divided on the film.
It's really creative, too.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I think it's so creative in terms of lighting and sound design, and those are two huge major parts of most movies and all movies, but also for this film specifically, so I had a good time.
They brought some really cool ideas to it. It's not a perfect film, but I had a good time, and for any fans of horror, definitely check it out. Next up, the other new release this weekend was One of Them Days, the comedy. And this debuted with a very strong $12 million. It looks like it's going to be a really high earner for the studio. And then Sonic 3 came in fourth place with $8 million, still holding out. Den of Thieves 2 dropped down to fifth place in its second weekend with $7 million. It's closing in on around $30 million for its domestic haul so far. Keep in mind the budget was only $40 million, so it could definitely make profit, especially when it opens wider in the international market. So it has legs to hit about $100 million total, so it can be profitable. And then Nosferatu, still chugging along with $5 million. It has now reached an impressive $90 million domestic haul, so it's definitely poised to hit $100 million by the end of its run. We're really happy to see that.
Yeah, congratulations to Focus Features and Eggers and the whole team, because it's such a a creative, incredible masterpiece of filmmaking that broke $130 million globally so far, so It's a huge hit for them over at Focus Features. Let's talk about the DCU. Anthony, you're wearing a Superman shirt. We got that custom merch, or that special merch.
They made it for only us.
When we went to that event. You can't get that.
No, it's not released yet.
You can't get that hoodie.
I actually put this on by accident. I didn't even realize what was in the news until I looked at it when I was already wearing this. And this is, the merch that is not yet released to the public.
Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow, has started production. It's filming right now. And James Gunn also announced the casting of David Krumholtz and Emily Beecham as Zor-El and Allura, Supergirl's parents, in the upcoming film Supergirl, Women of Tomorrow. This film, currently in production, aims to delve into the emotional narrative surrounding Krypton's destruction. Additionally, Millie Alcock, who will play Supergirl, is set to appear in Superman, the movie in July. Indicating a crossover within the DC universe. A bunch of fans have been seeing, is this her in the trailer? Is this her in the trailer? Little freeze frames,
gotcha,
potentially a blurred image.
I have
could
no.
be heard.
I am not analyzed. I do not want to analyze trailers like that.
And fans
it takes away the fun.
Yeah. Well, fans are expressing
Yeah.
enthusiasm for these casting choices and the anticipated emotional depth of the storyline. So that's really cool news that Supergirl is filming. I have a lot of high expectations for Superman and Supergirl. They're 1-2 punch to really get the DCU going. If they land them, goodness, they're in good position.
I'm so glad Krumholtz got cast in this.
That's really
we
cool.
We love Krumholtz for 30 years now. We've been seeing him in stuff, and man, it's so great for
Freaks
him.
and Geeks.
Yeah, Freaks and Geeks back in the day, and then huge role in Oppenheimer. I'm so glad to see him land this big, gigantic studio role because I think he's a really great comedic actor as well as incredible emotional range and talent that he showed in Oppenheimer. I thought he was a really underrated actor in that film. And then Emily Beecham, I don't think I've seen her in anything, but you saw her in 1899, the spin-off show of Dark, right? Yeah, and she's in that show.
So she's the lead of that show.
And she also remember that sci-fi movie with Casey Affleck and Lawrence Fishburne, the trailers?
The space one that came out last year.
She plays the female role in that. I remember her from the trailer.
The girlfriend back home, the wife back home.
I think he was just obsessed with her or really liked her.
I never saw it,
He had a crush.
I don't know.
I don't think anyone saw it, Slingshot. But I'm really excited for Krumholtz to get this role in. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're cooking up. Now let's talk about something really big that's happening in the world, in America, and that is the unfortunate ban of TikTok, which the Supreme Court upheld on Friday. So now it will go into effect. The ban will be approved today when this episode comes out, Sunday. And then on Monday, when we have a new president on the 19th.
On the 20th.
On the 20th. So on the 19th, that administration said, the previous administration has said they're not going to enact the ban, and instead they're going to let it roll over to the next administration to see what they do with the ban. Are they going to uphold the law that the Supreme Court has ruled on? Or are they going to try to delay it and make the TikTok ban last about, they're going to try to do a 90-day window where they can try to get some kind of resolution, domestic sale here in America or not. So we don't know what's going to happen, although you and I are just kind of worried that we get a lot of our income from TikTok. We get a lot of our exposure from TikTok. We know a lot of people whose entire livelihoods are built on TikTok. They make pretty much all of their income from the app. So it is a scary time and a new territory for us. We've been enjoying the app for almost 5 years now. It's been really huge for us in growing this podcast and audience and connecting with so many fans like you. I would say when we ask people how they find us, TikTok's by far the most common answer.
And TikTok, even though this isn't exactly movie news, it has a huge effect on the industry because this app has changed and morphed marketing so drastically in the last 5 years. It's presented us with so many great opportunities, like, Anthony wearing that Superman shirt, meeting the cast of Superman to make TikTok videos, building our show. But TikTok is a huge part of marketing for all movies. And we don't know what's going to happen if TikTok shuts down, if we'll lose those opportunities. We don't have as big numbers on Instagram and YouTube as we do on TikTok. So maybe we'll get less likely to be invited places, get those cool experiences, which would be a huge bummer. But this is something that does affect the industry. So it is, in fact, I think movie news to an extent.
Movie studios and marketing teams have digressed from commercials, from so much paper marketing, and it really shifted towards content creators using them as their marketing tools to get the word out for films. People like us, people like Juju, like Soups, those kinds of content creators using us as a way to let people know this movie's coming out. Here's something fun with the cast. Here's something fun about the movie behind the scenes. And so it has, like you said, changed the landscape of marketing for film, and it was going to keep going. I mean, we were in talks for some pretty great things, and we still are, but TikTok has been the reason why we get those opportunities. Like, the studios and marketing teams aren't really listening to the podcast, but our numbers on social media are really what gives us those great jobs.
And again, it's part of the industry now. It's infused in cinema. Plus, I'm just going to be bummed. I mean, the film and TV section and topic on TikTok is the biggest one. The arts and entertainment is the biggest topic on the app. And a lot of people discover new movies on TikTok. They see great content from movies they've never seen before on TikTok. So it's just a great place for learning and educating yourself, as well as a bunch of brain rot. Like it's not like there's not brain rot happening on TikTok and doom scrolling, but I've enjoyed the app. It's a bummer. We'll find out more, but we don't know what the hell is going to happen. We'll see.
Yeah, so we're just playing it by ear, and we're going to take it as it comes and figure it out as it goes along. But nothing's happened yet, so the app's still working and still operating. So we're just doing the best we can and keeping things as usual for now.
If you want to help us, just become a patron. Yeah. Patreon.com/Raiders of the Lost Podcast. You can subscribe on YouTube, Instagram. All those things will help us maintain, a good following, a good marketing presence on social media to keep people discovering our show.
Very important. Great job.
Thanks.
No, I forgot about that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Daredevil.
You go ahead.
Daredevil Born Again. Holy crap. This trailer, I was watching, I'm like, this actually looks pretty fucking good. Obviously, Disney has a lot of expectations to meet from the 2015 Netflix series Daredevil, which is just adored by fans and was so well done. But we got this trailer, and it looks pretty damn good. We got our first look at White Tiger. We see Wilson Bethel and John Bernthal coming back, both returning as Bullseye and the Punisher, respectively. This premieres March 4th on Disney+. And it looks good. It looks brutal. It looks like a lot of fun.
It looks really big and large in scale. I also like this kind of connection that Daredevil and Kingpin now have, and you see it a lot in the trailer when they're talking at that diner booth. I think that's going to be like a big highlight scene for the entire series. People will be really anticipating that scene. You could have like a Heat type scene with Pacino and De Niro having these two icons just sitting in a cafe diner and having really big discussion. And the violence looks great. I think this is a great teaser. They didn't give much away. You don't even know what this series is going to be about. We get quick flashes of violence, but I'm really impressed by the size and scale and scope of this. It looks bigger than ever, but also it looks exactly like the first season in that quality that we got originally.
Heck yeah. I'm looking forward to this, honestly.
Big time. All right, let's get into the Narnia franchise over at Netflix. As we've reported on over the past couple of months, Greta Gerwig was unhappy about her upcoming franchise and adaptation of the books being Netflix-only releases, and so she's clearly been working with Netflix and theaters, and IMAX has been the one to pick up the film. They will be releasing The Chronicles of Narnia in IMAX at 1,000 theaters worldwide on Thanksgiving 2026, before becoming available then on Netflix Christmas Day, which I think is really cool. You give it a good amount of time in theaters, build up that anticipation. People can experience the film and enjoy it in a communal environment on a huge screen with gigantic sound system with 200 other people. And then for anyone who didn't want to see it in theaters, they can wait until it's at home, or you can see it again at Netflix. So I think this is a really cool idea. I think it's also could set a great precedent for Netflix films going forward. If this does well in IMAX theaters, in 1,000 theaters at IMAX, it's not going to get $100 million. And there's 5,000 screens in America. And so it's not going to break the box office. But it could perform well enough where it would encourage Netflix to maybe bring more of their films in theaters for about a month's release before going to the app.
We talk often about how movies that go straight to streaming, they're usually forgotten. Mm-hmm. They go away, even if they're pretty good. If they're average, you'll never hear of it again. You'll never see it again. No one will ever talk about it again after its 1 week release window. This ensures, I think, that this movie stays in the zeitgeist. People get to go see it. I could see it breaking $100 million. I mean, Barbie broke a $1.2 billion.
No, I mean opening weekend.
Oh, opening weekend.
It could make $100 million total gross.
If it's going to be in IMAX theaters for a month, I think this is really cool.
It could, yeah, for sure.
It's a new strategy. And, of course, Netflix doesn't need the money. But it's more than money. It's more, I think Greta understands that. It's more than just money. It's more about building your movie's audience and its appeal to the masses for years and years and years, and getting people to recognize it for a long period of time and making it special, not just watching in your living room with your phone in your hand. That's why Barbenheimer was so special, is because we were there in a theater experiencing it with other people, dressing up and it was such an amazing couple weeks, man. I miss Barbenheimer. That was a special time, 2023, June, baby. I'll never forget it. And even though Barbie wasn't the best movie in the world, I still loved going to the theater, being surrounded by people. Everyone's giddy. So I love how Greta, transitioning into big blockbuster filmmaking, understands that audiences seeing it in theaters together is just as important as making the movie itself.
Like you're nailing it on the head. Like you were just like you right on the money.
Thanks, man.
It improves its rewatchability. If an audience enjoys the experience of seeing the movie, it's an event. It's a memory. You know, you can't really remember. You can't differentiate between all the movies you've watched on the couch or in your bed or at home, but you remember good experiences in the theater when you saw it as an experience. And it's like going to a rock concert or seeing your favorite musician or even a small musician. You remember that because you did it. You acted in that moment and you were there. And so that compounds interest. Even if the movie if people like the movie, they're going to want to rewatch it. So it improves the rewatchability forever for audiences of these films. So like, say, for example, this movie just came out on Netflix only and it was good. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good because it's Greta Gerwig. It might end up disappearing in 10 years and people forget about it.
Well, it might disappear in a month.
Yeah. But if it makes a big splash culturally, if people are talking about it, people are taking time out of their days, they're taking 4 hours, 5 hours to go see this, they'll remember that. And if it's great, they'll feel happy about the experience of doing that. And that'll make them be like, you know what? I love the Narnia movies. Let's watch them again. And that's just going to help with whatever IP, whatever property, whatever film they produce, I think, long term.
I agree. Let's move on to some pretty sad news. David Lynch, the iconic director, passed away at the age of 78 a few days ago. He's been battling emphysema since 2020 from smoking. He's been home-ridden from the illness since mid-2024, and his failing health, as well as, lockdowns, COVID being difficult, and then obviously the fires being moved around, all contributed to him finally passing away. David Lynch is a legend. We went a little more into detail on his career on our Letterboxd recap episode last week. A huge loss in the film community and will be missed, but his films will live on forever because he's such a timeless filmmaker. His stories are so unique, so well done, and so absurd. You come back and you're like, what is that movie even about? And I love those kinds of movies. He's such a fantastic talent, and he will be missed.
He was truly one of a kind. He really was. And the thing with him is there will never be another filmmaker even like him at all, even near him. He was so his own thing as an artist and individual, and no one will ever be able to do what he did. He was so singular. All right, let's move into some exciting news about Avatar: Fire and Ash. James Cameron provided a new look at the Wind Clan tribe in Avatar: Fire and Ash. They are a nomadic people and travel through the air. We get a look at Varang, the leader of the Ash Clan. I like this image. It looks incredible.
Well, no, these are two different images.
Concept art of the underhead with them riding the dragons, and they got this incredible outfits, and it looks like their clothing reflects fire and passion. And I really like the design of them, as well as the other image. And so this is described as a reflection of the worst side of Na'vi, filled with anger, rage after their civilization was destroyed by a volcanic eruption. So there are people that are fueled by hatred and vengeance in a way.
Yeah, the Ash Clan, which will be the main antagonist of the film. These images looking stunning. Yeah. Stunning stuff. I cannot wait to see. I thought it was just going to be fire, but now they're going to be playing with the element of wind as well. And we'll see how that comes into effect with the incredible, groundbreaking animation that comes with every one of these films. I'm so looking forward to seeing the fire that they create. I cannot wait for this film. I'm very excited.
And it looks pretty spot on to the concept art they dropped at D23 last year.
Looks pretty fucking good.
I mean,
looks pretty good, James. You're doing good work over there, pal.
It looks all right.
Doing pretty good work.
Amazing.
And
I'm really
a lot of people
excited.
are obviously coming out saying that Avatar it's literally, they're doing the clans just like Avatar Last Airbender. So
Avatar was first, though.
I know. He made the patent and trademarked it in the 90s.
Avatar was first.
So
he says he's had this story, the whole arc since back then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it could just be a coincidence.
It could be a coincidence or maybe a little inspiration. I don't know. We'll never know.
Who knows?
It's pretty coincidental.
I think we can all agree that the Fifth Element is the first one to do all this stuff. I mean, come on. I think they all were inspired by the Fifth Element. Yeah. Those rocks, man.
Those rocks.
I mean, come on. Earth, Wind, Fire, Water.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Every idea you can think of has been done before.
Yeah.
It's been done. All right, let's talk about the Oscar nominations. Obviously, we've been getting so much of the award season happening so far. The BAFTA nominations came out recently, and the Oscar nominations have been delayed again. They were delayed recently, but they pushed it to January 23rd, so we'll finally get the noms this week. But, I think there's some concern and some information I learned about why it's been delayed a little bit.
This is why the Oscars have been a problem for a while. Get into it.
So, this is an example of what's been going on with the Oscars and why the nominations, like Eddie said, aren't always the best. The film The Brutalist has ignited a debate about the dedication of Oscar voters to thoroughly evaluate the films they vote on. Many voters recently confessed to not watching or completing that movie due to its lengthy runtime, leading to criticism about the integrity of the Oscar voting process. Now, when you're a member of the Academy as a voter, you don't have to go to theaters. You will get screeners in the mail so that you can conveniently watch all of the movies that are being put up for nominations or potential nominations in the comfort of your own home, on a plane, whatever. Whenever you have time to watch the movies, you get all of the screeners in the mail. So you can do it. Now, critics are arguing that voters should watch all nominated films to ensure awards reflect true cinematic merit, and not personal biases or incomplete views. This issue has sparked discussions on whether the Oscars genuinely celebrate film excellence or if external factors like runtime influence voter decisions. And I know people that work for people who are voters, and I've heard stories where people are generally, they don't watch all the movies. And at the end of the day, when it comes to their voting, they're mostly kind of just, it's like a test that you don't know the answer. You're just picking a bubble that you think might be the most popular answer. Or oftentimes, people who are voters and part of the Academy, they're voting based on their friends' projects. They're good friends that, they worked on that movie. I'm going to put that up for that. So oftentimes, they're not watching the movies. They're voting based off people they know.
Yeah, and there's been people who have anonymously come out. There was an article written in a magazine a few years ago. I can't remember which outlet it was, which magazine it was, but they interviewed anonymous Oscar voters, and many of them said, I have not watched all the films, and they generally just go with whatever the tide's saying is going to win. And so that obviously is a problem in terms of, is this meritocracy even working anymore? And, I mean, when you get, studios make it as easy as possible to watch their films. Like, every studio has, okay, this is our Oscar movie. We have 2 movies we want to promote for the Oscars for your consideration campaigns. And so they send people, voters, critics, these screeners, just because they're desperate to just please watch our film. And then once you see it, maybe you can think about it when you're voting. So it is definitely a problem. And it absolutely highlights many of the questionable nominations of the past several years, even winners of the past several years. And when there are clearly better films that don't get any attention, it's like
Spotlight.
Spotlight's really good. Spotlight's good. When I'm talking films that don't get nominated, that get snubbed, that don't get anything. It's like you as a general audiences, and even people like us and people who listen to the show, know pretty well what's happening in the film world, and most of the films that come out they see. It's confusing, and you're like, why did that get no attention? And things like this are revealing of why these are problems.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic 3 not getting a Best Picture nomination is probably going to cause a lot of controversy.
Shame.
But there's also speculation about juror number 2 potentially receiving a Best Picture nomination, highlighting internal Academy dynamics.
I mean,
it's a great movie.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I know. I don't know, man.
With 10 nominations, there have been way worse films nominated for Best Picture the last 10 years.
There absolutely have been.
It's a really good movie.
It is a fucking excellent movie.
There have been movies nominated for Best Picture that make you roll your eyes.
Juror number 2
is a good time.
It's an awesome movie.
Really great movie.
It really is. Now, so this is obviously, it might be the reason why it's delayed again, and it obviously reveals why so many confusing choices get made. Especially, there's a movie this year that's at all the shows that's getting a ton of nominations, and everyone's like, what? Mm-hmm. What is going on in this world? The memes are ridiculous. I'm not going to say what movie it is, but I'm sure everyone knows what I'm talking about. It just shows that the decreasing merit of the awards system, even the Academy Awards, is not immune from it.
Yeah, and I mean, you can have debate about, do we even need awards ceremonies, and do we even need the Academy Awards and the Golden Globes? But I do think that they are a good thing because it celebrates great art, and it celebrates the best in filmmaking, whether it be in acting, and I think that's worth celebrating, especially for people like us who love the world of cinema. I think it's a good thing to have award ceremonies, and also it brings attention to a lot of films that didn't have attention. And so I think that awards ceremonies are valid. However, I think that a meritocracy has to be solid for it to really mean anything.
Sure does.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't handcuff people to a chair and be like, you have to watch this stuff.
Exactly. That's the problem.
It's just
tough.
It's just what it's always going to be.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some more news, everybody. So Severance Season 2 has finally dropped on Apple TV Plus, and they did a really cool marketing campaign.
Cool.
Did you see what they did? They had
great.
the main cast at Grand
Central
Central Station, New York City, put them in a big glass container with their desks, and they basically role-played scenes. I'm guessing that they sort of improvised throughout the course of the day, but like as their characters working throughout the day. It was such a cool idea. Went viral all over the place, and I thought it was very clever. Even Ben Stiller's there holding his smartphone, like, this is such a great idea. It's a lot of fun, but I can't wait to start the season because it's one of the only TV shows I watch.
It seemed like they were doing scenes from the first few episodes of the show, and it looked so cool. It was such a brilliant idea. I watched the first 2 episodes, and it's great. We got an early screener from Apple. Thanks, Apple TV Plus. Apple TV. And
Plus.
There's no plus.
Sure there is.
It's just Apple TV.
It's Apple TV Plus.
No, you're thinking of... You're adding an extra word.
No, I'm not. Hold on.
It's just Apple TV,
It's not a word. It's a logo. Anthony. It's a plus.
Apple TV. I think it's just Apple TV, man.
What's the plus then? Yeah, there's a plus sign, bro.
There's a plus sign?
Yes.
Oh. Sorry, Apple TV.
Get out of here, man.
Apple TV. Oh, yeah, you're right. Apple TV Plus.
Shit. Run that back.
I admitted I was wrong immediately. So, what's really cool about the first 2 episodes is it basically connects to the finale in a really interesting way. And it takes turns you weren't expecting. I walked into the season expecting certain things, but they are subverting your expectations, what you want from something that's creative like this and has such an unpredictable nature as a narrative. And they did a great job with the first 2 episodes setting up what this season's going to be. I'm really excited to see more.
And it's been, 3 years since season 1?
12 years, I think.
14 years since season 1 premiered. Really exciting. Apple TV did not exist, but man. So
it's good.
I
It's
can't
really
wait.
good.
I can't wait to get into it. Really cool story here. Sing Sing will be the first feature film to be released in theaters and in prisons at the same time. A24 will be releasing the film to almost 1 million incarcerated people across the U.S. next week. So if you can't get tickets to a theater, commit a crime, and you can watch this for free.
Get locked up.
No, I think that's a really cool idea.
That's great.
You know, prisons, so many controversial things about them, but I think bringing that to prisons could help with rehabilitation for sure.
Did you see a lot of incarcerated individuals were working on putting out the fires in LA?
Oh, wow.
Which is really great.
They were firefighters, though.
That's what it was?
Yeah, so they didn't just say, like, hey, whatever, you're a guy, go do this. No, they're incarcerated firefighters or past firefighting experience.
Still great, though.
Yeah, they helped out. And they'll be put back in with probably nothing as a reward, which is unfortunate, but...
All right, let's get into the big trailer release from Neon, The Monkey. This film stars Theo James, directed by Osgood Perkins, comes out February 21st, and...
That's really soon.
Yeah, very soon. This trailer is great. The first one was just a very small teaser, but we get a whole lot more in this film. It's going to be bloody. But what struck me in this trailer is it's really funny. It has a great comedic tone and like this black comedy feel to it that I haven't seen in any of Perkins' work before. So I think it's something new for him, and it looks really exciting. And I think it looks like a really great time.
Yeah, they're doing a good job with this marketing campaign. They had the teaser, and then Osgood released the front page of the MPAA rating system.
Oh, yeah.
For the Red Band trailer, like a week and a half ago, to show all the things that, like, oh, you're getting an R rating for this person's head being on fire. All the different things that happen in the trailer to cause the MPAA Red Band trailer, which is really smart, really clever, gets people excited. Then you drop the trailer a week and a half later, which looks great. The reviews are really solid. They're saying, there's a couple early responses from the film. People are saying it's great, it's bloody, it's gory, the humor is solid. I've read somewhere that not all the jokes hit, but plenty do, and I think it's going to be a huge hit.
Oh, it's going to destroy, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's going to destroy.
I'm looking
at 20 million opening weekend.
Looking forward to checking it out.
20 mil.
Got a couple remakes and reboots in the works at Warner Brothers, everybody.
No! Oh, my God.
Gremlins and Goonies movies are in the works. I'm assuming that the Gremlins will be a sequel. I'm guessing the Goonies will be a reboot. That's my guess.
I think it has to be a reboot because it has to be kids, I think, for it to be the Goonies.
For Goonies?
Yeah.
I don't mind Gremlins getting another movie. I don't mind because...
It has been a while.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
The first movie's the good one. The second movie is ridiculous. It's still fun. It's campy, but it didn't really do well and didn't justify the IP really being bigger going forward.
One year. Well, let me look up what year that was. Gremlins 2.
84. Yeah, 84.
Wow, long fucking time.
But Gremlins is great, and I have no problem with it. I think you can do a lot of cool stuff. And obviously, the popularity of Grogu, which clearly was very much influenced by Gizmo from Gremlins.
Oh, yeah.
Shows that I think you can do something great. It's a cool idea. I love the Mowgli, and I love Gizmo so much. So I have no problem with the new Gremlins movie being remade.
Okay, you know what? I'm sold. I had a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, you can do some fun stuff. The Goonies, I'm not super...
Because, it's been 40 years.
I'm not jazzed about Goonies, though.
It's been 40 years since Gremlins 2. Okay, why not? It's a long time.
Yeah.
Goonies. I don't know. This shows that
Goonies, there's
everything's gonna get remade.
Yeah.
We're just once.
Like I said,
once Zemeckis dies, Back to the Future 2, Back to the Future reboot's rebooted the next day.
Probably
once he passes away.
Probably. Like I said, there's nothing we can do. We just have to hope they're good movies.
Yeah. I don't know. Then they're gonna do Indiana Jones.
They already did. Or reboot Indy.
They'll reboot it.
Whatever.
Yeah. They'll reboot it.
There's 28 James Bond movies. Life's too short, guys.
There's only one Indiana, though.
Life's too short,
There's
guys.
only one Indiana.
Not anymore.
40 years.
There's a young Indiana Jones. What about him?
It's still... So, let's talk about PlayStation.
We got him, boys and girls. All right, PlayStation's Until Dawn live action trailer. This is a popular video game, and this is the live adaptation's first trailer just got released.
So this is a PlayStation
game.
Sony production that they've made into it's
a live action.
Gotcha.
So
I saw the trailer and it was cool.
Yeah, so fans are calling it a large deviation from the game, but basically here's a synopsis. 1 year after her sister Melanie's mysteriously disappears, Clover and her friends head into the remote valley where she vanished in search of answers. Exploring an abandoned visitor center, they find themselves stalked by a masked killer and horrifically murdered one by one, only to wake up and find themselves back at the beginning of the same evening. Trapped in this valley, they're forced to relive the nightmare again and again, only each time the killer's threat is different, each more terrifying than the last. Hope dwindling, the group soon realizes they have a limited number of deaths left, and the only way to escape is to survive until dawn. I think it's a cool idea. It's very Groundhog Day. It's very much like, what's that horror movie? Happy Death Day. And I never played the game, but there's some creepy stuff going on, some monsters in there. But, I think it'll probably do pretty well. The trailer looked pretty solid. Really interesting idea.
Yeah.
A bunch of people get killed, and you have to relive that
a bunch
nightmare.
of good-looking people get killed.
A bunch of really attractive,
very handsome, very beautiful
people in their 20s playing teenagers get killed.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. Yeah. I'd never heard of it. And, yeah, it looked like, a slasher, but resetting the day. And... yeah, it's pretty good.
But not funny like Happy Death Day, brutal and terrifying instead.
I wonder how it deviates from the game, though. I wonder.
Probably story, characters, stuff like that.
That's usually
what it is.
You get 2 hours to do it, not 30 hours, so. I get that.
I don't know. I never played it. More horror stuff.
Scream 7 has just cast Joel McHale in a major role. He's going to play Sydney's husband.
I bet he's the killer.
100% he's the killer.
100%.
This is a spoiler, man.
He's
This is basically a spoiler. They just spoiled. Also, Jasmine Savoy Brown has been cast in the film as well, reprising her role as Minnie Meeks Martin. I think that Joel McHale as Sydney's husband is a big red flag.
Me too.
Maybe they are anticipating us to expect him to be Ghostface, but right now my money's on him for Ghostface.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately, Joel
Obviously,
McHale.
the guy who married... You can't trust the guy who's married to Sydney.
No way.
No way. He definitely married her to kill her.
You're right. This is a spoiler. They blew it. You blew it, guys. Like,
We might be wrong, but I think it's glaring.
you're like, fuck, we have to rewrite Raiders of the Lost podcast. They
should've
figured it
They
out.
should have cast an unknown.
We guessed the last one within 20 minutes of that movie.
Within 5 minutes of the movie.
It was pretty
Within
easy.
5 minutes.
It was pretty easy to
No,
guess.
okay, sorry, 15
No,
minutes.
it was like 20. Yeah, they didn't have to get through the character. They
Yeah,
didn't
we
even
had
go to the opening's 10 minutes long, Anthony.
Yeah, you're
Relax.
right.
Tony Revolori didn't even finish his scene. He's like, I already know who the killer is, even though I haven't seen them yet. All right.
We were dead on the money, though.
Timothy Chalamet, always in the news because he's just a cool guy. He's just a chill guy. Timmy rode a bicycle onto the red carpet in London for the premiere of A Complete Unknown and was eventually fined 75 pounds because he couldn't legally park it there.
It was one of those like bikes that you just can rent off the road.
Yeah, like a bird
like
bike.
a city bike.
Or Lime,
Fucking
whatever.
hilarious. It's great. I think he's just having a lot of fun. And he had this like straight face on, like it was like no big, like it wasn't anything ridiculous. I
It's
think
got
that's
a
the way-
basket
that's-
on the front of it. It's
that's
hilarious.
the way to do it, man. He's doing a great job.
He's like, I don't know why they find me. It's great marketing.
I think he's been doing a really great job marketing that film. It looks like it's the first time he's had like a lot of say into how to market the film.
Yeah, I mean, PR teams control everything you do as an actor or or a famous person. When you go to events, they are on you. They're telling you what you can do, where you should stand, what you should say. You're being coached before. You're given a deck, a PowerPoint presentation of what to say, what answers to give for specific questions. But Timmy's like at the point where he's got so much power over his career. He's probably like, fuck that. I'm going to do whatever I want.
Yeah,
I'm going to ride a Lime bike onto the red carpet.
I think he understands that, especially younger generations, they see the bullshit in the prearranged talking points in interviews, and they see through that, and it's not real. We see. All right, next up, there's a new trailer for The Amateur, Rami Malek's new action movie. It looks good.
I didn't love the first trailer.
I saw it in theaters the other day.
Second
It
trailer's
looks
better.
good.
Yeah.
He's basically Jack. It's basically Jack Ryan.
It is Jack Ryan.
He plays a CIA analyst whose wife is killed in some kind of terrorist attack, and then he makes it his mission to train himself up to be a field agent so that he can track down the people responsible for her death. Great cast. Rachel Brosnahan, Lawrence Fishburne, a bunch of great actors, as well as Rami being an Oscar winner. I wasn't really sold on the idea of him being an action star, but I was surprised.
Weighs less than a gun.
But someone in the trailer says like a 90-year-old schoolgirl could beat you up.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I was
they do.
like, you know what? He's not fighting in it.
Yeah.
He's not doing action. He's using his skills as an analyst and a brilliant mind to take out the bad guys, which I was like, okay, that works. I wasn't sold on Rami being a spy, but if this is the trailer was like, okay, this works for me, I can believe this, and it looks pretty good. It looks like obviously like the Bourne movie of the year.
The Bourne movie of the year.
The Amateur. I think it looks good.
We got news of the Lego of the year.
Wait, the Lego of the year?
The Lego set. So, all you Twilight fans, all you Twihards, Casey, looking at you, we got our first look at the Lego Twilight set.
Oh my
now,
God.
this will cost $219, releases in February, and it's the Cullen family house from the first film. It even has Edward's bedroom, and you can even do the scene with the Claire de Lune Debussy record.
Oh my God.
It's all like the records part of the shelf. It's part of the kit.
my
So
God.
the
Yeah,
Twilight Cullen family house set.
Oh my God.
February, man.
$230.
220.
220.
That's pretty standard price for a decent sized Lego set.
They know what they're doing, man.
I think it's really funny.
Oh, and the marketing it's a millennial woman playing with the Legos. They know who their market is. 100%. Oh my God.
What are you listening to?
What are you listening to?
Debussy rocks.
All right, we got another trailer that did not look that good, and it's starring Robert De Niro in dual roles, The Alto Knights from Barry Levinson. This is the film we talked about months ago. De Niro cast in a movie as the two lead roles.
He looks too much like De Niro.
Yeah.
They look like twins.
So he plays rival mob bosses in the city, and they're competing, I think, for territory and for dominance. But they look look
too similar.
They put like a little prosthetics on his nose and his cheeks for one role, and then the other role is his bare face. One's got a hat on, one's got glasses, but it's like, bro, it's just De Niro and De Niro.
I think it's going to be a problem for regular audiences who don't know that he's playing two characters. Off this trailer, it looks like a twin movie.
It does look like a twin movie. You're right. Because we know about the background of the film, but you're right. General audiences, if they go to the movie theaters and this trailer plays, they're probably like, so is De Niro twin brothers?
And then but then they show the names on newspapers. It's like, oh, are they different guys? I know this is an experiment, and it's not the first time that this has been done, an actor playing dual roles.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But I just don't know if it's going to work. I don't know.
It's not going to work, and this is going to be the biggest bomb of the spring in my prediction. I don't think anyone's going to go see this movie.
He's kind of old, man. I love De Niro, but Bob, he's pretty old.
It really felt like he was just talking to himself.
Yeah, it did.
He doesn't look different enough.
Might as well just put a mirror there.
Yeah. I mean, I respect I respect what they're trying, but again, him and Levinson's track record isn't even that strong.
Did you see the teaser for the Spartacus sequel series?
No, because I don't want to.
It's on Stars. It's called Spartacus. Oh my God. And
so is it a sequel to the original film?
I'm guessing, but I'm just gonna say, I don't think it's gonna get
it's a sequel to the old Spartacus show.
I don't think it's gonna get a lot of views.
So this Spartacus TV show was like in the 2010s on Stars, and I think it ran for a few seasons.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. The gladiators just don't look like gladiators.
I can't even find this. Okay, wait. Spartacus.
Some guy has a fade. I'm like, what's going on here?
There's a lot of sex in this. Jesus. Oh my God, CG green screen. Oh my God. Okay, 300. Trying to be 300. Oh my God, this does not look good. What is he, a superhero? Oh, yikes. Ouch.
Well, speaking of superheroes.
Sorry, I was reacting to that and it was not good.
Let's talk about Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
James Mangold, coming off his new film, A Complete Unknown, says his Swamp Thing movie will be a simple, gothic horror movie. To quote him, while I'm sure DC views Swamp Thing as a franchise, I would be viewing it as a very simple, clean, gothic horror movie. I like that answer.
I want a dirty gothic horror. Not Swamp Thing shouldn't be clean.
No, I think he means just
I know.
This is
trim.
all it is.
Yeah, trim. I know.
This is what it is. Yeah, it's a gothic
I'm
movie.
just poking fun. I agree. We don't need and not everything needs to be a franchise.
No. Even though it will be franchised, but
yeah, probably.
I like how he's approaching it not.
Okay, we got some big news on the new, huge 4K UHD re-release of two incredible films, two masterpieces. Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2 are being released on 4K Ultra HD for the first time ever on January 21st. I know what I'm buying myself.
I already pre-ordered it.
Oh, nice. Now I don't have to. I got you addicted to the Ultra HD.
As soon as, it looks so good.
Now you can't. It's like going from HD to standard def to HD. You can't go back.
Yeah, Blu-rays, man. It's not even close.
HD's not good enough, man. It's not good enough. I'm so excited. There's one movie I'm waiting for the 4K. There Will Be Blood.
The UHD?
Yeah, they haven't done it yet. It's only available. It's only available Blu-ray.
They'll get it done.
When?
I don't know, man.
When?
Does Criterion have a 4K?
No, it's just never been made as 4K Ultra HD. It's never been done. I'm sure maybe they're saving it for a big anniversary.
Maybe
that's what they tend to do.
Because 2027, 20.
Because this would be the anniversary of Volume 1's release, 2005.
Yeah, so I bet you in 2027, in 2 years, they'll drop it.
Oh yeah, nice. Let's go.
Yeah, it's always a sexy thing. It's like we need like an anniversary date for selling.
Yeah,
no one cares.
You're right.
No one cares about the 17th anniversary, man.
No one cares about the Man in the Box.
Final bit of news with our Anaconda remake starring Jack Black and Paul Rudd. Thandie Newton and Steve Zahn have joined the cast.
Sorry, Steve Zahn. I spelled it wrong.
Oh, Zahn. I know who it is. I'm like,
Steve Zahn. I spelled it Z-I-A-N. It's Z-A-H-N. That was my bad.
Thank you.
Yeah. I Ron Burgundied you.
You did. Ron will read anything you put on that prompter. So, I don't know what to expect of this Anaconda remake.
Me either, man. Me either.
We'll find out. But, kind of a light week of news, not a ton of big stuff going on. But we hope you all have become enlightened with all the new things that are happening.
Also, just real quick, we are in the midst of preparations for our big Greece trip.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
right.
we're doing a big Greece fan trip. And if you'd like to get tickets or learn more about the Greece trip, all you got to do is DM us on Instagram with any questions. On our Instagram, there's a highlight reel, and it has a ton of information about the trip. We're going June 21st to June 27th in Greece. We're going to go on this amazing journey. We have, with your ticket, so much stuff paid for, a lot of meals, every activity we go through, transportation within the cities. We'll have our own local tour guide for the entire time. So much.
And hotels.
And hotel stays. So when you buy a ticket, most of what we're going to be doing is included in that ticket. It's going to be a great trip. We have some incredible things planned. We already have 11 fans joining us.
June 21st to 27th. And then if you just go on Instagram or Twitter, the Beacons link on our profiles.
Yeah.
Click on that. The top button is the Greece trip information, the page and everything.
It's going to be awesome. I'm buying my ticket to fly out there this week.
I got to figure out what country I'm going to go to before that, because we have to be in Greece the 20th because we're the hosts, and then everyone else comes in on the 21st.
I'm going to most likely France, Switzerland, and Italy, and then I'm going to Greece.
Can you bring me some chocolate? Get me some chocolate, bro.
Some Swiss chocolate.
Yeah, some Swiss chocolate. That'd
You
be
know
great.
what? You know what? Switzerland's most famous food is?
Play-Doh.
Want to do a real guess?
Their most popular food is sauerkraut.
It's German.
Is sardines.
Fondue.
Oh, okay.
Fondue was created there.
I thought it was sardines.
It's really big there. No, not sardines.
All right.
They're not on the water.
Doesn't mean you can't have sardines.
You're right. You
can import,
You
bro.
can have sardines anywhere.
The whole world imports and exports, bro.
I'm talking in terms of a cultural cuisine.
Globalization.
Okay, there are probably sardines in Switzerland. You're right. Yeah, there probably are.
There are. Not probably, there are.
There's a couple sardines there.
There are a lot of sardines in Switzerland.
What do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
I don't know yet. I'm just trying to figure that out. I'd like to go. I mean, I've always wanted to go to Vienna, which you found out is in Austria.
Indeed.
Not its own country. Well, no, you thought it was in Germany.
I thought it was in Germany.
You thought Vienna was in Germany.
Yeah, I thought it was in Germany.
Yeah. That's funny.
You gotta do a before sunrise, go to the train station. June 14th.
Maybe.
That's the date.
I'll be there.
June 14th.
All right, yeah. But anyways, come to Greece with us. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have a blast. June 21st to 27th, 2025. Let's get international, baby.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Now, take care, everybody.
See you next time.